1811 4000। यही कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन।
जागो ग्राहक जागो।
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. First to you, Professor Khanna. Are you among those who believes that our MPs getting a 312% salary hike is right or wrong?
I think it is right, because if we expect good governance, then the people who man our governance institutions must be paid well enough to perform their functions in a manner which will help with good governance. If you give peanuts, you will get only monkeys. This is what I believe, and I do believe this hike is justified. You know, they are getting 1,000 rupees a day. Do you know that the Delhi University, under the UGC directive, is going to pay 1,000 rupees an hour to a lecturer in a college to teach? So let's be clear. You have to have some sort of a balance.
Okay, some sort of a balance that you've got to have. But there is the other question, the other side of the balance. Remember, 300 crorepattis have been elected to the Lok Sabha. It's a mammoth increase of 94.8% over the 128 crorepattis who are elected in the previous Lok Sabha. There are 100 crorepattis in the Rajya Sabha alone. Among them is our guest, Mr. K.D. Singh. Mr. Singh, do you think you deserve a 300%? Do you need the 50,000 rupees? Isn't it loose change for someone like you? Why do you need 50,000 rupees?
Rajdeep, I fully agree with you. As far as I'm concerned, or people like me who are concerned, they don't need it. And in my opinion, this debate is not as simple as whether this is good or this is required or not required. There are people like me who do not require, even if, and there are many like me.
There are,
but
but what happens then? Should the system change? Why should everyone get, maybe you don't deserve us. Should every MP get this 50,000 rupees irrespective of their income level, irrespective of the fact like you've got 82 crores as your assets, and I'm told you've got 3 or 4 Bentleys. You live life well. You have a suite in the Moria. Why do you need, the problem with the public reaction is the people are angry that some MPs are going to get, who really don't deserve it, are getting a 312% hike. That's how the Aam Janta is seeing it.
I fully agree with you, Rajdeep, on this issue. I am in agreement with you. And I say that people like me should not be given. Let's be creative. Why can't we be creative, and let's get out of black and white? And if we say, why can't we be creative? And I propose that we have, they make a formula in which they can make a slab probably from 0 to maybe 1,50,000, not even 80,000. And people who deserve, who need, let them decide. People like me, I'm willing to give up. I'm making this statement right now on your channel. Whatever increase, I'm not going to take any salary from the parliament because I don't need it.
You don't need it, so
there are people.
You are saying on this program you will not take the salary. You don't need the money. Therefore, you don't need this 50,000 salary. But what about people like Mr. Rajesh? Mr. Rajesh, do you believe that MPs genuinely need this 50,000 rupees? Will it genuinely be put? Because the public out there wants to know, what will you do with this money? When your money goes from 16,000 to 50,000, what will you do with it?
At the outset, let me make it clear our party's stated position on this issue. We have taken a position long before, not now, long before, that it is not fair on the part of the MPs to decide their salaries and allowances themselves. So there has to be some independent and separate mechanism. In many countries, there is some independent and separate mechanism are working, and it is decided not by MPs themselves. So that is our party's position. That is why we decided to not to be part of the joint committee which recommended this salary hike. That is our position.
That's a good point. You're saying the MPs cannot on their own. In fact, MPs who don't normally attend Parliament were all there today demanding that they get this salary hike. That is the problem, Sriram Khanna. That the MPs decided. They sat on a joint parliamentary committee and decided their own race. Surely there should be a better system.
There is a conflict of interest in the sense that I am asking and saying that I should be given more salary. This is not done in a democracy. Whichever organs work to recommend and decide must not have a conflict of interest. They must not have an axe to grind in the cause that they are advocating. They must be independent people. But all said and done, our democracy is still young. We have not got a system to create these kind of organs so far. And everything happens between the cabinet, the ministries and the parliament.
Today the MPs said that they should get 1 rupee more than a secretary to the government of India. A secretary to the government of India gets 80,000 rupees. The MPs say we want 1 rupee more. Do you think that's a formula which is workable?
Listen,
I mean, shouldn't there be a better merit assessment? There should be some system by which, yes, the MP should get a salary hike, but can it not be made in a more accountable, systematic manner?
For example, I think when the government set up the pay commission, they should have also empowered the pay commission to make a separate recommendation for the MPs. It should have been done. I don't know why it was not done. Normally it is not done. That is why it was not done. But now today all government officials who are getting the salaries, they are getting pretty heavy salaries, let me tell you, because of the pay commission. And
so you're saying maybe the MP should have also been brought under the pay commission ambit. Mr. KD Singh, try and answer, how do you respond to the public anger out there? Whenever we spoke to the people out there, they said today, look, 300% rise, and yet Lalu Yadav gets up, a man who's been accused in a multi-crore fodder scam, and said that's not enough. We need more. It's almost like Oliver Twist, going out there and asking for more in Parliament. How do you respond to that public anger against MPs, particularly because we are finding more and more MPs are wealthy? Increasingly, more and more of you are crorpatis. More and more of you don't need the money.
Rajdeep, I fully agree with you, and I agree with to great extent the public anger, because we need to understand it's not as simple as that. It's the image in the public's eyes. If I may use the unparliamentary language, that they consider all politicians to be thieves. And this image needs a changeover. And if we look in the overall scenario, it's the system, the entire system. I mean, we compare with, let's say, you compare with the policeman in USA and policeman in India, and we say, oh, but policeman is very corrupt, but we don't pay him well. But that cannot be applicable to member parliament. In the MP, right, in the eyes of the public, and even in our democratic system, is still considered a public service.
No, but the problem is more and more of you are rich. If you look at the Rajya Sabha and the new MPs who've come in, most of you are crorpatis. That's the problem. If you take aside the left parties, most of the parties are crorpatis.
No, Rajdeep, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's the good sign. People like me who come to the parliament do not need money. This means the public image, the public thinking that all politicians are there to make money, at least that is not applicable on people like me. See, that's not actually a problem. See, that should be, in my opinion,
what my friend here is just saying is right. He doesn't need the money. So my question is, how many of the crorepati MPs are willing to donate this excess salary to either their MP lads fund, or to the funds of their parties, or to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund, or any other charity? Let me say, in our country, the big crorpatis are not like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates in USA. None of our big crorpatis have given any money to charity. In fact, they want to make more money, and today becoming an MP has become like an industrial investment. You spend crores of rupees of black money and you invest that money, and then you want returns on it. So actually the salary is only a very small part of the whole game.
In a way, actually all our crorepati MPs possibly should donate all the money that they are going to get through their salary to the Save Lay Fund. Why don't you give money? Why don't you all be more charitable? That's the problem.
No, see, the problem is
point to make
our country's psyche, the middle class and the rich people have never learned charity. Charity is only by exception. In 100,000 you will find 2 or 3 people who are willing to give a part of their hard-earned money for charity. Okay, even the corporate houses who have billions of dollars of wealth, they are not giving enough to charity.
So you're saying maybe we could, maybe the crorepati MPs could go to charity, but what about you, Mr. Rajesh? You and the left MPs generally have very, your accounts are meager relatively. Mr. D. Raja of the CPI said he had just 20,000 in his bank account. Explain to our viewers, why do MPs need the money? Do you need it for your constituents to provide chai biscuit for them, for various political obligations? Why do you all really need the money?
Rajdeep, I thank you very much for at least accepting that we the left MPs are not at least billionaires. So it's a compliment for the left. And as far as the CPM MPs are concerned, our concept, our party's concept is that whatever the income of a MP or MLA or any party member, that is the income of the party. That is our concept. So all that I can tell you is that in a country like India, where 80% of people are living, they are earning an income of less than 20 rupees per day. MPs will have to live a simple living.
Simple living.
Lead a simple living.
You know, that is the problem. Simple living, high thinking. You know, Mr. KD Singh, I've seen you come into Parliament. You come in a Mercedes. I believe you have half a dozen Bentleys. No offense meant. You know, you're entitled to live the life that you want to, a life of luxury. But an MP surely is a member of Parliament. He's a people's representative. As Mr. Rajesh says, 80% of this country lives below the poverty line. Shouldn't our MPs show, at least in their public life, a greater connect with the average Aam Aadmi? Live your life simply. It's not about salary, it's about living a simple life, sir.
I agree with you.
But
I agree with you. And
you agree and buy Bentleys and live in the Moria Sheraton in a permanent suite. I mean, you know, that's the disconnect that our MPs have. That's the problem. You are disconnected from the Aam Aadmi.
No, Rajdeep, I don't agree with you. I mean, this is the business empire which I built from scratch over a period of 30 years. And if I use my own money to live, I'm not using government money. So I don't think so that the public connect can only happen by staying in a flat. No, I don't agree with you.
Okay. You know, Shriram Khanna, isn't this primarily the problem? Why there's this anger that our MPs are being paid? Because people out there know that a number of MPs, not all of them, a number of MPs are fairly wealthy. They live ostentatious lifestyles. And thereby there seems a mismatch between the amount that you know, they are demanding a few thousand and the kind of lifestyle which is, you know, goes into crores. Plus they get free free house, free telephone calls, free air travel. There's a lot of freebies also.
I agree. I think part of this reaction is because of the unpopular image of our politicians, who are seen as not those with a mission to serve the democracy and the poor and so on, but as those who are investing money to make more money and add to the corruption in the country. So it's more of a perceptual problem, and I think the conduct of our MPs is in part responsible. The way they behave in Parliament, the way they hold down Parliament, the way they conduct themselves, it has created a poor image of the politician. And I think, but in my feeling, the MPs of the left parties, there are several MPs who belong to the, who have been pracharaks of the RSS. They live a similar austere lifestyle. And my hats off to both the communist MPs and the RSS MPs. Let me tell you, because they are not in that class of crorpatis.
Sure.
And they have to nurse their constituencies of several lakhs of people. And they have to spend money not only in doing their political functions, but also looking after their families. And let me tell you, the MPs who don't have enough money are more prone to taking money from commercial interests, to espouse the cause of the commercial interests in Parliament and lobbying and getting them favors. So one reason I would support more money to the MPs is to make sure that they don't go wayward, they don't go into the direction of corrupt practices.
Fair enough. Mr. Singh, I'm going to ask you a final question. Will you at any stage, since you've said on this program you're ready to sacrifice your salary of 50,000 that you're now going to get, what will you do with that money? That money that you have, that 50,000 into 12, the 6 lakhs that the government of India is going to give you, where will you put that money? Into buying another nice car for yourself, or into putting the money into the Save Leh campaign?
Why are you after my cars, Rajdeep, all the time?
I've got I envy you for your Bentleys, but I still wonder whether you need to have 5 Bentleys or 3 Bentleys that you have. I'm just asking you, what will you do with that extra money? Why don't you give as Prof.S.R.Khanna is suggesting, to charity?
correct your information. I don't have 5 or 6 or 3 Bentleys. I have only 1 Bentley.
Okay.
And I don't need 3. Your information is incorrect.
Okay.
And I think I would like to say that why are we still living in that socialistic era where money is seen with suspicion,
Sure.
or money is seen with dislike?
No
Money,
problem.
as my friend on this program is saying, that the people who are less paid, or people who have money are not susceptible. They are not prone to.
Sir, I believe you should enjoy your wealth.
With money.
Sir, I believe you should perfectly enjoy your wealth. Just share it with a few people. The 6 lakhs, which is
I'm
a
going to
loose
do
change.
that. I'm going to do that.
You're going to do that.
Keep watching me. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to make a suggestion, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
through this channel, the Honorable MP, who God has given a lot of wealth, why don't you prevail upon the other Crorepati MPs and identify charities that you'd like to give money to? I'm not saying give money.
Rajiv, allow me to make one point.
Yes, quickly.
I in the central parliament hall, in the central hall of the parliament, I have been speaking to a lot of MPs, and trust me, there are many like me who are won against this race, and who are willing to give away entire money to either in the Prime Minister Relief Fund, or will spend on the MP Lad Fund. There are many of them.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see. Our MPs
See,
will be
my
tested.
suggestion would be, let MPs identify with their charities what they think is good for the public.
Okay.
And identify their charities and persuade other MPs and the members of the public to contribute to charities.
That
let
will
them show the way.
That will transform the image of our MPs. KD Singh, Mr. Rajesh, Sriram-Khanna, appreciate your joining us here on our big question today. Are our parliamentarians really underpaid? Well, Jati Patra writes, I do not see any justification in hiking an MP's salary who are charged with corruption or any kind of criminal activity. There should be an appraisal system to make MPs accountable. It's high time MPs either performed or are kicked out. Okay, that's what our viewers say. Where do we stand? The editor's take here on CNN IBN. Yes, we love to bash our netas. Yes, many of them are crorepati's for whom rupees 50,000 is loose change. But many of them, remember, are also honest and deserving. If we expect salary hikes every year, why grudge our netas a pay jump? The corrupt must be dealt with, but let's be honest, a salary hike isn't going to reduce corruption. Instead, it might just encourage a few good people to enter public life. That's where we stand.